about digital infrastructure as the skeleton in our body. The skeleton holds our whole frame. It also supports the blood circulation. And it's the same way that digital infrastructure is. It's the foundation of the digital economy. It includes what we call first mile, middle mile, last mile. Within the first mile, we have internet service providers, we have data centers, we have internet exchange points. Within the middle mile, we have what we call backhauling, basically what brings us the internet. And then the last mile is what we see in our homes. So if you have fiber at home, where the fiber connects to your router is the last mile. Now the router, the phone that you use to connect, the laptops are also part of the digital infrastructure from the end user perspective. So I hope this clarifies and really simplifies when we talk about digital infrastructure. There are other parts like the security part, making sure it's safe, the governance part, making sure that the data transfer, the internet transfer that happens is also safe. When we get to the challenge, Africa is first of all a mobile first continent. What does that mean? Most of our digital infrastructure is provided by the mobile service operators. Maybe 5 to 10 years ago, we grappled with the challenge of coverage gap, meaning that people wanted the service but could not get it. But then with government interventions, a lot of good policies, our coverage has grown quite significantly. Africa is standing at around 80% of coverage in terms of 3G and also growing very rapidly for 4G. At this point, the main challenge that we have is called usage gap. What does that mean? It means that now we have the coverage, but we are not able to use it. People are not able to access internet for various reasons. But the highest or the biggest challenge has been affordability. The cost of internet, the cost of the device, and even knowing what to do when they have access to it. These are some of the challenges that Africa faces within the digital infrastructure domain. So the consequences if this usage address is not resolved or addressed is just the widening of the digital gap. We already have it. Already, if you look across the world, Africa is already lagging in terms of the digital divide. But then if we don't resolve this usage gap issue or even close the 20% coverage gap that is remaining, we are going to be left behind in terms of people accessing the internet and reaping the benefits of the digital economy. Everybody benefits from digital infrastructure. From my grandmother in the village to everybody else that you know, they all benefit from digital infrastructure. And so it's imperative that we work to making sure that everybody has equitable access to internet in Africa. So Smart Africa has tackled digital infrastructure development in a number of ways. In 2019, we came up with the Smart Broadband 2025, and deliberately so because the landscape of broadband changes very rapidly. And so we decided that we're going to set a target for 5 years instead of a long-term target. We've achieved so much since then. We've, for instance, increased the number of people who have used internet within that period. We've supported various countries in developing their broadband strategies, their ICT strategies, and also implementing tangible projects that advance us for the increase of broadband penetration in Africa. Now, remember I mentioned the usage gap. It's a huge thing for us as Smart Africa, and we have a project that is addressing that. And that project targets reducing the cost of broadband to the average citizen across Africa by at least 50%. And 50% is the worst case scenario. It could go up. And that is our contribution to making sure that we are closing the usage gap and making sure that everybody can access the internet. Beyond that, we are also working on affordable devices. Remember, we need to make devices affordable so that everybody can access the internet. We are also working on that and making sure that people have smart, affordable phones. So one of Africa's biggest assets is our youth. Africa has approximately 60% of the youth as our population. Now, if you look at this demographic, we need to be able to equip them. And so when we are able to equip our youth, which we are not able to absorb all of them in the mainstream job, with digital skills that they can apply through entrepreneurship, through business process outsourcing, through even offshoring of services, we are able to equip them and they are able to thrive in the digital economy. So first of all, what is a single digital market? Very simply explained, it's the breaking down of borders across Africa, leveraging digital. And so when we are able to equip our youth with these digital skills, and we are able to build the right infrastructure across countries, and we are able to agree and harmonize on our regulations and policies, our youth would be equipped to trade or to work across countries. Imagine an entrepreneur in Rwanda. That entrepreneur only has 12 million population or a 12 million market size. But with a robust digital infrastructure coupled with the right regulations and the right frameworks, that same entrepreneur now will have access to a 1.4 billion population, a 1.4 billion market size instead of a 12 million market size. So picture this and you would understand why we need to equip our youth with the right digital skills and why we need to invest in digital infrastructure in Africa.